The iPhone 11, or iPhone 11th, is inevitable. Here's everything we know about Apple's 2018 flagship, including price and release date. News update. What's all this about the iPhone XL? Fresh off the rumor millers talk around the iPhone XL, Apple's big screened alternative to 2017's regular sized X. Supposedly, the Korean Herald reports that LG is providing shipments of an OLED panel for the upcoming XL in late 2018. The rumored iPhone XL is looking at sporting a 6.5-inch screen. Yep, that's an extra 0.3 in of display in case you were measuring. Another interesting thing to note is that Samsung provided the displays for the iPhone X, so it's possible the firm may have cut ties with the South Korean giant. With that out of the way, here's absolutely everything you need to know about the iPhone 11, or 11th, or whatever it's going to be called. iPhone 11. Everything you need to know. The iPhone X is still in its infancy and you've already set it aside and moved on to the hypothetical iPhone 11? What the heck is wrong with you? It's a great phone, and you should give it the attention it rightly deserves. No? Well, seeing as you aren't leaving, I suppose we ought to give you the lowdown on everything we know so far about Apple's iPhone 11. Spoiler, it's not a whole lot. Yes, 2018 will see the return of the iPhone. Again. As night follows day and the seasons run their annual cycle, so does the yearly hyped up iPhone launch, with 2018's handset expected to make an appearance almost a year on from the iPhone 8/8 Plus/X unveiling. Apple is ever so predictable these days. Of course, Apple may not decide to call it the iPhone 11. The iPhone X proves that the Californian giant actually does have some creativity in its naming structure, but we are going to call it the iPhone 11 for the time being, at least until we hear any official information. Okay. Whatever the future holds, you'll find absolutely everything you need to know about the iPhone 11 so far in a handy explainer below, including the expected launch date, a spot of healthy price speculation, and what we would like to see in terms of design and specs. Let's begin. Apple iPhone 11 price. How much will the iPhone 11th cost? If the iPhone X sells well enough, you can expect the iPhone 11 to sell for a minimum of £999. Don't like the sound of that? Don't accept the cost of the iPhone X in the first place. Apple iPhone 11 release date. When will Apple release the iPhone 11th? Apple hasn't really bucked the trend of announcing its major iPhones at its September event. The iPhone 11 release will be no different either. This means, come September 2018, we'll be looking at a brand new iPhone 11, or iPhone 11th. Seeing as the iPhone X launch is actually in November, instead of September, it's unclear if Apple will stick to a September launch like the iPhone 8 and iPhone 8 Plus, or opt for a November release like the iPhone X. It's unlikely we'll see an October release, as that's when many other manufacturers offer up their handsets to market. Apple iPhone 11 design. What will the iPhone 11th look like? Apple isn't one to change its phone's aesthetics all that drastically. The iPhone 8 and 8 Plus looked near identical to the iPhone 7, and you can expect the iPhone 11 to be near identical to the iPhone X. This means an all-metal body with a glass back for key charging, as well as an edge-to-edge screen and vertical camera arrangement. It's unlikely that the base iPhone 11 will come with a dual camera setup, but the iPhone 11 Plus will probably seem very similar to this year's premium offering. Apple iPhone 11 specifications. What's going to be inside the iPhone 11th? Expect an updated version of what's inside the iPhone X and iPhone 8 and iPhone 8 Plus. We'll see a new version of Apple's A series of mobile chips. It's most likely this will be the A12 chip, but it could be another A11 with a stupid name like Bionic. Apple iPhone 11 features. What features can you expect in the iPhone 11th? Again, I wouldn't expect a whole lot of change for the next iPhone iteration. Apple tends to make leaps one year, incremental updates the next. Seeing as it made massive leaps with the iPhone X, the iPhone 11 is likely to just tweak what came before. For a rundown on what that means, take a look at our iPhone X coverage. Apple iPhone 11 camera. Will the iPhone 11th have a good camera? Expect Apple to make incremental upgrades in the camera department too. Not a lot has changed in terms of camera quality on iPhone since the 7, so perhaps it's due for a big overhaul. The iPhone X does make bigger leaps than other numbered entries, bringing in optical image stabilization, OIS, and using to 12 megapixel sensors instead of one 12 and one 8 megapixel sensor. It's likely the iPhone 11 will just use this same setup, but make improvements to the software used for the camera instead.